It's a very common misunderstanding that if you were to disclose child SA, that you could just call the police and say, hey, this happened, come pick up the pedophile, and that the cops would come pick up the pedophile, put him in cuffs, and take him away. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, but that's not how it works in Canada. Now, I'm speaking from survivor experience and 10 years of advocacy. I am not a law professional, and I'm not a politician. With this being said, usually when you disclose child SA, an investigation has to open up. They'll pull the child in for some questioning, ask about this, ask about that, get their story. Then they'll talk to the accused, and then they'll talk to the accused family. They'll talk to any kids that may or may not have also been involved to see if they're going to disclose or not. Now, this could go one of two ways. Either the accused will plead innocent or plead guilty. Okay? Now, if they plead guilty right away, it's a pretty simple process. You lay the charges, they get in handcuffs, they place a publication ban, you're no longer allowed to talk about it or what they did to you without breaking the publication ban, and they go off on their way to jail. Probably just for, depending on the case, a year, maybe 5. Severe cases, which may include like attempted murders or something like that, might get closer to like 10 years maybe. And then usually they get let out on parole a little bit earlier than what they were sentenced for, with obviously rules, but out of jail. They would most likely be put on a registry, which is not accessible by the public. So although their name would be on the registry and that information is accessible by law enforcement only, you would not be able to access that information yourself. And anyone you know, neighbors, anyone in the town, if they move beside anybody, you wouldn't be able to tell them, and there's no way to look that information up. But they pled guilty, right? They spent a little bit of time in jail. So it seems good, right? Sarcasm. Total sarcasm. Okay, now we're going to move down the I'm innocent path. Now you go to trial. Now you got to sit in front of a judge while a defense lawyer defends the accused and questions the survivor as if they were the one that did the crime, making them feel like they have to defend themselves. Re-traumatizing victims, children. We're talking about children. Re-traumatizing children. And then not even with a promise of a sentence. When they plead innocent, it's because they know that there's no evidence. And when you first go, for my example, they warned me that because there's no evidence, there's a huge chance he's going to get away with everything that he's done to you. But I chose to push forward anyway. So in other cases where there's no evidence, let's say there's no recordings, no pictures, no nothing, the abuser didn't leave any evidence behind of the abuse. What are you going to do? Most of the time, when there is no solid evidence, they get away with it. And it's really hard to find evidence when there's no witnesses, nothing being recorded, and if the survivor doesn't speak in time for a rape kit to be done. So you could choose to go down the path of going into a trial and them pleading innocent, getting away with everything they've done because there's no evidence, and re-traumatizing children in the process. Or you could potentially have them plead guilty and maybe in a plea deal or something, maybe they found a little bit of evidence, right? Now all of a sudden we have to plead guilty. Then we're looking at a short sentence, released as soon as possible, back out, put them back out there as soon as possible. Publication bans. So now you can't talk about it. Don't say a word. Don't tell people who they are or what they did to you, because now that's illegal. Don't tell people where they live if you found out. Don't talk about anything. Don't talk about your abuse. It's illegal now because of the publication ban, because you were a child. And it puts the abuser at risk to talk about it. Now, originally, publication bans were put in place to protect the victim. But it doesn't protect the victim if the victim is the one that wants to talk about it. That's where the flaw is. Then they're put on a registry. Registry's not public, so nobody knows who they are or what they did. You can't talk about it. And they're released anyway within a short period of time. You go through the other way, and they plead innocent, they get away with it, and all of a sudden you're a liar because no charges were pressed. Or you don't report at all, and you just use your freedom of speech, and you expose the mother that did that to you, and you get sued for defamation. And this is what I mean by the system's broken. It's broken everywhere. Doesn't matter which route you take, it's broken.